Okay, so hello everybody, and we are playing an absolute classic today, The Revenge of Shinobi. One of the first games I played for the Sega Mega Drive, back when I first got my Mega Drive in 1992. So we'll just very quickly set our options here before we start. So let's just go with the defaults, I think. We'll go with, 50 shurikens should be enough. Normal difficulty, I think we can handle that. Okay then, let's get into it. Now, we are playing with the version 1.0 here, which has a lot of characters that might be familiar to you, but we'll get to those as we go through the game. So level 1 is Ibaraki Province, Japan. Although, having actually been to Ibaraki, I can say there isn't anywhere there that actually looks like this, but hey, let's not get picky. So you just jump through here fighting various ninjas and samurai. Power up there to give me super shurikens. That's always welcome. There we go. And of course, when you pick up the super shurikens, it also gives you this little cross guard thing to block incoming projectiles. A little bit of a doggy moment there, and here we go. 20 shurikens, that'll do. Now, this first level is really quite easy, but you know, you can already hear the absolutely magnificent soundtrack from Yuzo Koshiro. He would of course later go on to work on games such as Streets of Rage and of course Shinobi 3. Yeah, his music, the things he could get out of what was a very simplistic set of hardware in terms of audio, the Sega Mega Drive, really is quite incredible. So, we are now through Act 1-1 onto Act 1-2, the House of Confusion. Notice how we're now playing at night time. There was a nice little transition in the scrolling graphics there as we progressed through the first scene from day to night. And we're just ambling along here, same enemies. Of course, placement here is a little bit more difficult because we're now into the second part of the level, and the assumption is that you've figured out what you're doing by this point. So we'll jump. Very important skill to learn very on in this game is the double jump. That is absolutely crucial to success in this game. And if we jump up here, we have a 1-up. Now, at various points in this game, you will find 1-ups that actually give you 2 lives rather than 1. So keep an eye out for those. I will point those out as we come to them, assuming I can remember them all. And of course, another point about these power shurikens is that enemies that would ordinarily take 2 hits can now be taken out in 1. In fact, in certain cases, the power shuriken will actually give you 3 hits of damage. Now here, first little secret, extra 50 shurikens. Oh, and I've just lost my power shurikens. That's going to make the boss a little more difficult. But we persist. So we're just walking through here. Watch out for the bamboo grills, of course. Down we go. And over. Oh, that was a sore one. Oh, it's okay. Keep going. Now these enemies will just spawn infinitely, so don't worry about trying to take them all out. Just keep going on through. And then we jump up here. And another couple of ninjas. And another ones. If I remember correctly, these ninjas were called omote in the manual. Don't ask me what that what that means, because even though I speak Japanese, I am not entirely sure. Now here, first little secret, extra life, but that is one of your double extra lives, so we now have 2 extra lives there. There is a point later on in the game where you can stack those to rack up quite a few lives, which will come in handy later. And 120 shurikens should be enough to get us through the boss. I'm going to take the easy way to beat this boss because I'm being lazy with double jumps. So this boss is called the Blue Lobster. Don't ask me why lobster, because as far as I'm aware, that was not a common name used by samurai. Oh dear, I'm getting hit here. Need to be careful. The problem with playing this on an emulator, even though I do own the original software, is that there is a slight input lag and it doesn't quite feel the same consistency when you're trying to do a double jump. Takes a bit of getting used to. Nice little extra life there because we did not use any ninja magic in that first level. And now on to part 2, Tokyo. Though again, good luck finding anywhere in Tokyo that looks like this. So here we go. Now this level used to frustrate the hell out of me when I was a kid because there are so many hazardous jumps here, and again with this slightly dodgy jump timing on this controller it could be a little bit problematic, but we will see how we go on. Now here you just gotta keep hopping and wait for the log to come down. There it is, a double jump, and there we are. Now again it's easier just to do shuriken double jumps here because you want to make sure you've always got a safe landing, and with that multiple shuriken, yes you're wasting I think 7 or 8 shurikens per blast, but there's always one fired directly underneath you to guarantee a safe landing, which is good because in this game you do quite often find enemies just appearing below you. This was quite a difficult game for its time. Oh, just made that jump there and we're clear. And now we're into the Tokyo back streets, on our way to the nightclub for a party with the Shadow Dancer, the boss of level 2. And this is also where we'll see the Kung Fu guys for the first time, but they really come into their own later on when we get to the Chinatown level. So again, nice bit of atmospheric music here, and that cityscape, I believe that would be partially reused later on for Streets of Rage, because you can see it's a classic archetypal cityscape. This is, you know, the manual says it's Tokyo, but it could be any big city really. And here we go. Oh, that was a hit there. Now, another little secret here. Fire the shuriken there, and there's an extra ninja magic, which is handy because this boss can be a bit tricky. So the Shadow Dancer, you want to get up close and just keep hitting him. And if you're lucky, you might occasionally block his shuriken throws. But he's a tricky one, so be careful. Now when he turns black, he will start firing multiple stars. So watch out for that. Oh dear, I'm in trouble here. Ah, we've lost our first life. Oh dear. Gonna have to do that one again. So here we go. Yeah, this boss was always a bit of a tricky customer. This would have been a lot easier if I'd been able to keep my power shurikens, but of course I got a bit clumsy. Now, what I've done there was I got him into the corner and managed to hit stun him. That is kind of random, but if it works, it makes that level a hell of a lot easier. Now on to stage 3, and some rather familiar characters might show up in a second. So get the power-ups. Now this is an interesting stage because you have essentially 2 stages running parallel, because you can jump in front of or behind the fence depending. Oh, and would you look at that, it's John Rambo. Now in later versions, I assume that Sega got a cease and desist letter from somebody, because in later revisions of the game, those Rambo characters were actually bald. So they looked slightly less like Stallone. So let's do this again. Yeah, there we go. It's always satisfying when you can just take out multiple enemies at once with one of them. Now, gotta watch out for this guy. See there, he would ordinarily take 3 hits, but thanks to the power shurikens, it only took 1. Oh, took a grenade to the head there, that's never a good idea. Jump over, and over again, and now here, some shurikens. Now, we want to try and take out the 3 guys here, and then jump up. Get our ninja power up. And now here, there's a heart, which I didn't actually need at that moment because I'm on full health, but good to know it's there anyway. Sorry, doggy. Sorry. Never like hitting animals, even in video games, but there you go. It's got to be done. Now, where are we here? Okay. So, we're getting towards the end of this level now. Jump behind, get these crates. Oh, something was hitting me there. Collision detection went a bit weird. Okay, now this level is tricky sometimes because you're on a plane, but those doors have a habit of flying open just as you try to go past them. And when they do, it can make navigation a wee bit tricky because you'll end up getting blown out the airlock and you'll end up like the villain at the end of Passenger 57. Oh, here we go. So, got our shurikens. Only got 25 here, so I need to be careful. Can't get too trigger happy. Now, another opportunity for extra lives here. So, jump over these guys, take him out. And here... These doors... See, that's exactly what I was talking about. You get knocked out the doors, you lose your life. But luckily that power up there gave us 2 lives, so I'm actually up on the deal. Okay, so same again, just go through here. Watch out for those are time bombs. If you are standing on that when it explodes, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. And those get really annoying in later levels because their placements are just downright obnoxious. Here we go again. And over. Oh, got lucky there. Took a grenade but didn't get knocked out the door. Get the 2 extra lives again. And over. At this point you want to just fire shurikens ahead of yourself because you never know when you're going to run into some bullets or grenades here. Large part of playing this game is just to memorize enemy placement, but it's been a while since I've played this, as you can probably see, so I'm not quite au fait with where all these bad guys are. Now, up here we're going to have the exit, and then we're going to fight the boss, which is a brain in a jar. Trick here is just to walk back and forth, avoid these lasers, and when the brain pops out, hit it. I'm going to take it nice and slow here because I don't want to waste my shurikens. You could jump up and do a double jump and hit him again there, but it's not really worth it because it's easier just to go around like this. So you can also jump over the machine and onto its back, but there's another laser up there that's more difficult to dodge, so I think we'll just keep it simple for this playthrough. Now you notice the brain is pink at the moment. As I hit it and it takes more damage, it will start to turn blue, then green, and then it will finally explode. And you see it's starting to take on a slightly green complexion there. Usually bosses take about 8 or 9 hits depending on how you're doing. But again, if you've got the super shurikens then you can half that. So the trick here is just to keep moving back and forth, let the laser fire and let it avoid you. There we go. Yeah, the brain is getting very green now. Shouldn't be too much longer. Probably another 2 or 3 hits, I would guess. Now don't worry about that door because in this case it is just a background animation. It can't actually open on you. You'll notice with the way it scrolls as the character moves, it's clearly just a background asset. It's not actually something that can be manipulated during the game. Just as well really because I've walked in front of it about a dozen times already. Now, let's see. And there we go. Probably one more hit will do it, I think. What you don't want to do, what you don't want to do is run out of shurikens here, because this boss is really hard to take down if you don't have shurikens. It is possible, but it's not pleasant. And I'm trying to avoid using my ninjutsu magic here as much as I can, just for the sake of challenge. But you know, you could just use your fire magic and nuke this guy right now if you wanted to. But where's the fun in that? Let's see here. Oh, right. Oh, took my first bit of damage there. Got to keep an eye out for these lasers, they can creep up on you. Just taking a wee bit long. Ah, of course. There we go. Right. Probably one more should do it now, hopefully. The brain's about as green as it's going to get. There we go. And on to level 3. Sorry, level 4 now, rather. And level 4, we are jumping over to the US. We're now in Detroit. And there is an extra magic power-up. And we still have soldiers to deal with here with their guns. And there's not Rambo. Definitely not Rambo for copyright reasons. Okay. Get the shurikens and keep moving. There we go. Oh! Again, all about the enemy placement. Quite frankly, I forgot those guys were there. Here we jump through here, and we're getting towards the end of the level now. Now, when you have the power shurikens activated, you also have that nice little katana effect, which you can use to save some ammo. Also has this lovely little kind of crescent moon look to it as well, which is graphically quite nice, I think. Mega Drive definitely has a sense of graphics that you just, there's something nice about this, you know, this level of animation. Now here, if you are wanting to build up some lives to get to the end game, what you do here is you jump, fire your shurikens down, and you hear that pop, and there is an extra life power up that is actually worth 2 lives. Notice I go up to 9, and I stay at 9 because I was actually on 10. Now, unlike some other games, although the maximum number displayed on the lives is 9, you can continue... Oops, don't do that, that's rather stupid. You can continue collecting lives beyond that. And, you know, you will actually get, like, you know, you could have like 20, 30 lives if you really wanted to. So I think, yeah, let's get a couple more lives just to be safe. I haven't played this game for a while, so that's us on 9. Let's get up. Yeah, we'll just get a couple more. If you time it right, you can collect the 2 lives and stay on the platform. And there is actually another extra life later in this level as well, though that is only worth 1, I believe. Now, shortcut, jump up here. Take out this guy. Now you want to jump on these engine blocks, but be careful, because if you jump into them as opposed to onto them, you will take damage. And there is the aforementioned extra life. Now we jump up here, and up here. And again, we don't actually need to go to the left, we can just continue onward. Take out this guy, go along here, and over this ramp. Watch out for the flames, double jump, and again watch out for the flames on the way down here. And we're on to another copyright violation, I mean boss. This one, Starts off as the Terminator and slowly but surely becomes the Hulk. He also likes throwing cars at you. He can get quite aggressive, so be careful. There we go. This one's a bit tricky because you have to hit him right in the head. Notice his complexion getting a little bit green around the gills there. Huh? Now he's running in, but that means that we have to be careful. And you know what? To hell with it. I am just going to use some magic here. So I'm going to use Munitions, which will take away a life, but will also completely restore my health and damage the boss. He's looking very green now. Nope, no Hulk smash for you today, pal. And he was a Terminator all along. Although he definitely wasn't, again, for copyright reasons. An interesting thing, if you use the Munitions magic, you still get your technical bonus, because on that life, you did not use any ninjutsu. So there you go. Nondescript American city number 2. I don't think it was actually stated in the manual which city this level was set in, but this particular section is called the Laser Scraper, and it is a bit of a pain because you have to watch out for the enemies and these lasers, which often you can't actually see the source that they're coming from. You just hear them and have to dodge the beams. Move up here. Again, this is interesting because this level is one of the few that is vertical as opposed to left to right. Vertical level design wasn't all that common in the early days of the Mega Drive. And that's another one of these unique, sort of innovative designs that Shinobi kind of brought forth that really has now become a staple of a lot of action platforming games. Now this is one of the most tricky parts of the game, because if those red cars hit you, they take away almost half your energy. So watch out for nuns. Okay. Now the trick here is to time it so that you land just after a red car is passed. So you can then leap out the way before the next red car comes along. So I'll wait till the red car passes, jump over, and then I can go back across before the next red car, pick up some more shurikens, take out the 2 ninjas. Oh, health power up, that was handy. It is possible to jump directly over the red cars, but you need absolutely perfect timing to do it, so wouldn't recommend it. And there we go, onto the boss. This boss is pretty straightforward. Basically shoot those little red orbs, there's 3 of them in total, and dodge the electrical currents and fireballs that will come later on. It is in essence sort of 3 mini bosses, because you have to take a slightly different approach to each of them. Okay, so that one's down. Now the second one is actually quite easy. You just plant yourself here, and when he comes up, just kick it. Careful that you don't dangle your backside over the edge and end up getting caught by the tail end of that fireball. And now, of course, the third part is the trickiest. Stand here and jump and hit as the orb appears. And the electrical currents here are moving slightly faster, or maybe just at a slightly different cadence as to what they were in the first part, just to try and throw you off a wee bit. careful I don't run out of shurikens here. You can use this ledge to allow an easier aim, but then there's danger that'll happen. There we go. And it's done. And let's go and walk on the live rails, because that's how we roll. On now to my personal favourite level, Chinatown. Love the music for this level. Sounds like something taken straight out of Another Dragon. And of course those two kanji there, chuka, if you see those two kanji in Japan, that means you're at a Chinese restaurant. And you can tell we're kicking up the difficulty a bit here because even the common enemies are taking multiple hits now. This one is tricky. Trick is to keep moving forward as you hit her so she can't leap at you like that. Oh dear. Yeah. Got a little bit too careless with that dancer there. Okay, now. Now be careful with these guys. If you get too far away from them, they tend to fly kick you, which can cause quite a bit of damage. They also have a habit of kicking your blades away if you shoot them as they're fly kicking, so be aware of that as well. So just again keep moving forward, move back when she jumps, and there you go. Oh, we got an extra life as well, lovely. Now, sneaky little trick here, you can wait until she jumps up and just hit her hands. Saves you having to go down and engage with her because there are other enemies down there as well, which you don't really want to be mixing up with. So drop down. Careful with these guys, they can be tricky. Trick is to wait until they commit to an attack and then move in and kick. And there's a couple of power-ups. Now, this is a particularly tricky jump here. You need absolutely frame perfect timing, which I probably don't have, so we might be here for a couple of minutes. Bear with me. Oh, what do you know? We made it first time. That's unusual. That is genuinely a very difficult jump, and I'm surprised that I did that in my first attempt. Now again here, you don't need to go down and engage with the dancing girl directly. Just stay up and shoot until she falls. Okay. We are getting towards the end of this level now. And you'll also notice that as you progress through the levels and you level up on points, your life bar extends as well, which is just as well because this game does get pretty tough towards the end. Uh-oh, I've lost my power-ups and I'm in a corner, but it's okay. Now, we are now going on to the subway, or rather the rooftop of the subway, to recreate the end scene from Speed. Hopefully I don't end up like Dennis Hopper. Here we go. Ouch, that would have hurt. So you want to wait until these mechanical things go past and then jump like that, yeah. And just keep moving forward. The trick to this level is to just keep moving forward and try and get out of the tunnel section as quickly as possible, but also with as much energy left as possible, because even once you clear the tunnel, you're only really about halfway through the level. The one good thing about these metallic overheads is that they do alternate high and low, which makes it a little bit, I was going to say a little bit easier to dodge just as I leapt right into one of them, but there you go. Oh dear, we might not make it on, actually, yeah, that was always coming. So we're going to have to reattempt this one. As I said though, this is a pretty tricky level. It's quite a tricky game generally. I guess it's only the fact that I played it when I was relatively young that it's a game I know quite well, but it's still not easy. Mega Drive, of course, came out at a time when arcades were still very much in vogue, and so a lot of the games, especially the earlier games, still had a sort of an arcade-style difficulty gradient, which doesn't really work for home systems because, you know, a home console game should be a game which, once you get good at it, you can beat it fairly easily, whereas an arcade game is designed to continue swallowing your money at all costs. So the difficulty gets, quite frankly, unfair at some points. If you saw my earlier video of the Superman arcade game from 1988, then you will see what I'm talking about. You get to like level 3 in that game and then the difficulty just gets ridiculous. Right, I am not repeating this again, so let's Mijin and reset my energy. I will take the hit and lose a life. And just keep moving forward. That's a good philosophy for life in general, not just video games, you know. Keep moving forward. No matter what tries to stop you, you keep going forward. Just make sure you don't walk into a machine gun. Or a flamethrower in this case. Yep. There's Not Sly and some of his ninja pals. Get rid of those. Some really beautiful scrolling effects on this game. It's graphically and musically, it really was ahead of its time. There were games that came out for the Mega Drive 5 or 6 years after this that still weren't as good. And we are almost at the end here. Now, here you're going to have 3 bombs, trigger those, wait for them to explode, and then the next one will be a health power-up, but also 2 more bombs. So avoid those, take out Not Rambo, keep going, and now we get to meet a special guest. We're going to have a good old fight with Spider-Man. So avoid the webs and just keep shooting him. If those webs do ensnare you, you can wriggle your way out of them, but you will lose some health. So just keep shooting him and try and time it so that just as he's recoiling, you can leap up and just get a quick hit in, like so. Oh, jumped a little too early there. Too early again. See, again, been a while since I've played this, so my timing is definitely not where it should be. If you're looking for flawless playthroughs, I'm afraid this isn't the channel for you. Right, and now he transitions into Batman. Of course, in later versions of the game, this character was changed to be much more of a monstrous bat animal and not a blatant rip-off of Batman. Again, like most bosses in this game, as he gets near death, he gets redder in colour, and that's him done. We now move on to what I think is, apart from the last level, probably the most difficult part. There's one particular jump in this level that can really get frustrating. And also, these ninjas have a habit of just jumping out at you. You're going to use a lot of jumping attacks and shurikens in this level. It's just a necessity. And to be honest, I think the developers knew that because they throw shurikens at you left, right and centre. And even then, it's still almost not enough. This is where you're going to be so careful because just there, you can get snared if you're not careful. Oops! Slightest little slip in this bit will cost you. It's just one long walking death trap. And again, that can happen too. even if you clear the hurdle, you could still walk straight into a ninja star and end up getting knocked off the edge. Yep, our hero has a bit of a bad habit of recoiling. And there you go. But we're okay. I think we can still do this. So the health is back up and shurikens are looking good. We just need to be careful here. And that was the difficult jump. I cleared it first time. Excellent. Right. Now on to the next level. This is a munitions plant. Pretty straightforward. Just watch out for these missile silos. They can cause a lot of damage if you walk into them. So just keep out their way, but make sure you collect shurikens as you go, because they're not as generous with the shurikens here as they were in the previous level. And they're a lot more aggressive with the enemies. This is one of these levels where enemy placement does get a bit, slightly frustrating. I mean, like there, you can't even see that guy and he can shoot at you. It becomes a kind of a force of habit to just fire shurikens ahead of you, just in case. And you tend to hear that pop of the enemy getting taken out, even if you don't see him. But we're doing okay here. Energy level is alright, and we're getting towards the end. We're on the final section now. Be careful with your timing here. Avoid the bullets. Again, just fire ahead to cover yourself. Take out those two, and there we go. Now this boss might look familiar. It's Godzilla! Although again, no it isn't, because copyright. He's a powerful big beast. So the trick here is to fire and then try and jump out the way, but this guy likes to fire his fireballs very aggressively and very quickly. So the trick is to try and keep as much distance between you and him as possible. But he will sometimes just rattle off those double fireballs just to annoy you. So I'm going to cheat again. Mijin. Do a bit of damage. And again, you notice he's getting that red complexion as he is nearing the end. There we go. In later versions of the game, he was replaced with a skeleton to kind of get around the fact that he was obviously ripping off Godzilla. Now, on to the final level, the Neo Zeed hideout. First part isn't too bad, although again you're contending with the insta-death water hazards. Nice little 50 shuriken bonus just off the top of the screen there, that helps. And again here, because of enemy placement, you do tend to just kind of fire shurikens ahead of yourself and hope. That health power-up was most welcome. And keep moving forward here. Oh. Now, this is tricky because on one hand you've got the grenade guy, but you've also got this nunchuck guy. So you are going to take damage there as well, just to try and fly through it, like so. And then if you're unlucky, that'll happen. Oh dear. So again, wait for this guy to commit to an attack and then move in. Be very careful here with the fireballs. Get the health. Ah! Dear, oh dear, oh dear, that wasn't quite what I planned. Jump over, and let's not take any chances here. Let's just take everything out as we come to it. Again, watch out for stray bullets. Now what you can do here is just keep shurikening, and if you don't take the guy out, you'll knock him off the edge, which will make your path ahead a lot less perilous. No more rebounds means that he's a goner, so up we go, and over, and we still take damage, but we got through. Now, this next level is a real headache. Just the labyrinth. You go through a series of doors, and I honestly can't remember which one is the exit, so we'll just keep going until we find it. I think I've got a rough idea of where we're going, but it's been a while. Now you notice the doors have different kanji on them, so that is obviously the kanji for 3. And that's the kanji for 4, so we're moving systematically through the numbers here. And if I remember correctly, the exit is at number 6, or it could be 7. Quite remember. Now, quick secret, down here you'll get a lot of power-ups and an extra life, which is handy because we're running a wee bit low here, coming on to the last boss. Oops, didn't need to use 2 there. Right, now let's see where this takes us. Number 8. Really is just trial and error with this until you find the right way forward, because it can get a bit frustrating. Right, we're back at number 4 here. And of course the enemies respawn every time you go through as well, just to keep things interesting. Some of them respawn, not all of them, but case by case, I guess. Back where we were before. Let's try this door and see where we end up. Okay, we're now at 7. And this puts us at 3 again. Not ideal. Of course, the smart thing to do would have been to look up a guide before I played this, but nah. We want to make this authentic, so I'm going to look just as clueless as anyone else playing this game. These flying ninjas are a real pain in the body. Right. And of course the danger as well is that you can end up jumping into a door you don't intend to. Like that. And then that will set you back in terms of where you want to go. Alright, number 5. We've not been here before. Dear, I'd normally be quite happy to be surrounded by this many Asian women, but not on this occasion. Okay, number 3 again. Number 5. Back to 1 now. Ever get the feeling you're just going round in circles? Right, progress. Now I am sure one of these doors leads to the exit. I just can't remember which one. Right, it wasn't that one evidently. Moving forward. Tricky part here is Mr. Nunchuck. Yeah, so move forward, kick, 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 there he goes. Hopefully he won't be coming back. Let's see what lies along this path. Nope, that wasn't the exit. So, keep going. And we will soon be clear of this level, I think, because I think I've just about figured it out now. I think. Famous last words. Here. Watch out for the jumping ladies again. And through door number 5. Get those extra shurikens, always welcome. Watch my energy here, running a wee bit low. Oh dear, that was silly. Now, let's not get careless. Cleared the ledge this time. Okay. You can, in most cases, keep track of bits you've been to before by whether or not there are still enemies there. So hopefully Mr. Nunchuck down here hasn't respawned. Good, he hasn't. And we can go through here. Now, I am going to Mijin at this point because there is no way I'm going through all that again. Four lives will hopefully be enough to see off the last boss, but we'll have to wait and see. That wasn't it. Again, we've taken out most of the enemies by this point, so we can't be too far away from the end, I don't think. Just have to keep pressing through. Right. Yeah. There's only one door we haven't checked at this point. Where this leads us. Oh dear. Not where I thought we were going. Right, I guess it must be part of that door number 6 area. In which case we have to go back this way. Almost lost it there, but I think just about figured out where the exit is. I think it's this one. It's either this one or the one above it. There we go. Now, can I beat this last boss with what little resources I have left? So the trick here is to wait for him to launch his wig at you, and then keep moving. Oh dear. No, I'm gonna take the L on this one, and I'm gonna try and attack him again, because we don't want to see the girlfriend get crushed, do we? That's not how we want to finish this game out. So let's keep that bridge from falling. This was a common trope in early Sega games. It was also present on the Spider-Man game, where not only did you have a pretty tough last boss to contend with, but you also had to be careful to not let the girlfriend get killed while you're doing it. And again, you see he's starting to turn a wee bit pink. he will get redder as time goes on, and it's not because he's embarrassed. Keep hitting that that panel there to stop the ceiling from coming down on your lovely partner. I say lovely, I mean, let's face it, it's just a bunch of pixels, you can't really tell how pretty she is, but I'm going to assume she is, because I'm guessing Joe Musashi's a man of taste. Now, let's just meege in here, just to preserve our progress. Important note though, when you use the Meege magic, notice how the ceiling starts coming down a hell of a lot quicker for the duration of the magic, so just be careful when you use it. Also, the projectiles get faster as the boss gets more desperate, but he is probably only 3 or 4 hits away from the end now. Right, come on you, almost done. Oh, watch out for the ceiling. This is going to be close. Oh dear. I think to use Scottish vernacular, I just made a bit of an arse of it. Right. Right, I just got one shot left. Ikazuchi magic. It'll provide a shield to protect me from a few more hits. Is it going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. Uh-oh. This is where we'd probably check out. Ah, oh dear. Well, there's always the option of continuing. So let's take one more shot at this. I think we can do this. Come on. Need to get to the boss with at least a couple of lives left so we can afford to account for slip-ups. It's a good thing actually that it makes you repeat the previous levels, because it does give you a chance to maybe build up an extra life or two before you get to the boss, because there is no way you're taking that boss out on one health bar with the damage that he does. Of course, the downside is that you'll notice my life bar is now significantly smaller, because as my score resets, so too does my life bar. This is going to be an uphill battle, but hey, let's see if we can do it. If not, I could always just delete this and make another recording when I'm more competent. Okay, our man's taken a drop. That means we are good to go. Now, hopefully we should be able to go through this a bit quicker than we did last time, because I've now got the route more clearly in my head. Oops, there goes the power shurikens. Now. Ah, missed the edge. Right, Rambo. No, thank you. So, let's see if I remember this correctly. Yes. Now, we are going to have to go down here and get this extra life, because I think we're going to need it. There should be some extra shurikens down there as well. Right, so head down here. Extra magic and extra shurikens. Now, the extra magic is going to come in handy because we're going to need that once we get to the latter part of the level. Oh, AI's been a bit glitchy here. There we go. Now, this should take us to number 8 if I remember correctly. Yes. So, watch out for Mr. Nunchuck here. Jump over. Down we go. Now, always take out the Kung Fu guy first. And then wait for this one to commit and then move in. Like so. Now, I want to try and preserve my power shurikens for the final boss. So, I'm going to do a lightning magic now, which will help me to get through this next section unharmed, hopefully. The sheer volume of bad guys there makes it quite tricky. Right, here we go. Ah, not ideal. So hopefully I've got enough left to get the job done. But the small energy bar is going to make this difficult. You can just keep persevering and hoping. Got to be very careful to preserve your ammo here as well. The problem here is as soon as I get hit I have to Meejin it just to be safe. Pink but not quite red yet. Ooh, we're getting borderline here. Oh dear, I mistimed that. That's the nerves kicking in. Okay, it's either him or me. What I'm going to do, give myself a little edge here. Yes, it's done. And the girl is safe, and the boss is down. That was a tricky one. Hopefully future playthroughs will be a wee bit more professional than that one, but I hope you enjoyed it. And there's the man with his girl. And we now get to sit back and enjoy the classic 16-bit ending. A ninja and his girl watching the beautiful sunset. And of course it says the end, but we all know it's not the end because about 3 or 4 years later they made Shinobi 3, which we will be covering in a future video. So be sure to stay tuned for that one. Thank you everybody, and I'll see you next time.